Hello, everyone. Welcome to my interview with Dr. Evans. And today we're going to be talking about the metaverse and its implications for VR and general political landscape in general. So, how do you see the metaverse shaping the future of virtual reality?
I think the metaverse is going to be providing a framework for the development of virtual reality. I think one of the problems that consumer virtual reality has had is the fundamental question of what is this for? What are we going to use this for? Obviously, one of the primary drivers on the consumer side so far has been gaming. And there is an argument to suggest that this is a gaming technology, albeit it sits in a really awkward position at the moment, VR, in that it's very expensive to have an effective gaming setup for it without limitations. I still don't think we got the physical form correct in order to facilitate gaming. So there is, it's kind of congregated around gaming, I guess, VR and most of its use principles in the commercial realm. I think the metaverse is a conceptual framework which positions virtual reality beyond the context of gaming. But the metaverse is, of course, so much bigger than that. It is an attempt to conceptualize how VR will become a fundamental part of everyday computer usage, trying to understand what the purpose of VR is. Basic principles, VR is an interface. It is a different way of interfacing with computers. VR is another step in that direction. We've gone in the 2000s and 2010s into more haptic interfaces, and now we're extremely comfortable in society with the idea of touching computers. Now everything is touch-based, and I think VR, even when it was conceptualized first in the 50s and 60s, was a way of reimagining the relationship that we have between computers and humans. So fundamentally, what do I see the relationship between VR and the metaverse are? It's going to be a symbiotic relationship. Ultimately, the main use case for the medium itself will be this standalone, persistent three-dimensional world that people can enter into and do all sorts of things within.
Are you seeing the opportunity of VR sort of implementation in other areas of industry as well, not just gaming? And so it's more like social media, more like actual industry itself?
Yeah.
Or, like say for the construction industry is using in VR and the implementation of 3D design, all the way to fashion market working with AR and VR in trying on people's clothes in the storefront itself.
I mean, it's interesting to me that with regards to virtual reality, we can do so many things. So let's take one of the examples you've used here, the idea of using either virtual or augmented reality as a means for thinking about fashion and thinking about, clothing, making it virtual and allowing people this freedom to, assess suitability of clothing using technology rather than having to traipse to a shop. My big issue with many of the applications of virtual reality is a very simple question: why? Why would anyone want to do that? I don't like particularly buying clothes online because when they arrive, they don't fit. I kind of still prefer to go to the shop and see, okay, yeah, I can see it. Actually, that really won't suit me. Or oh yeah, that looks pretty cool. I can go and try it on. And we have, countless different applications of virtual reality where the fundamental question I have is like, why would we do that? Now, you talk about sort of design and in particular, civil engineering and so on. I can see why, virtual reality is a boon for that. But for many of the, if you like, sort of non-industrial uses of virtual reality, I can see, is there really a use case for this? Will people take it up? And I still think this is one of the weirdest aspects of VR. When we got a lot of people scratching their heads saying, "It's loads of cool things that you can do in VR. Why aren't people doing them?" Well, the VR use case isn't as good as the other ways that you can do it already. Unless it's going to be better, why would you do it that way? I don't think we've quite crossed the Rubicon yet where people understand that, just because you can put it virtually That doesn't mean people will go and do it virtually.
Well, I think that's a good place to wrap it up on. So thank you very much for your time.